Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. This is Ryan from Movies with Ryan. Of course, you're on my channel. Hopefully, you know that. This is something I've been wanting to do for quite a while. I wanted to do a monthly stream at the end of the month where I review all the movies I've watched, see what I've done on Letterboxd, look at the reviews, see if any of my ideas have changed since I've watched the movies, and when I go back and watch or read the reviews. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to cover everything I've watched this year. So this ought to be fun. Hopefully I don't mess too many things up. So let me get into this. I need to share the screen. Where are you at? Nope, I don't want that one. There we go. So here we are. We're on my letterbox. Let me see here. Let me adjust this. Move that over there. Okay. So again, this is my Letterboxd, and I just completely messed up the screen, didn't I? I don't know what's going on here. Here we go. Anyway, so here we go with the Letterboxd. As you can see, my profile, I've seen 85 films total on it. I've only been doing this for a year on Letterboxd. I've seen 34 this year. Where's my diary at? Let's get into my diary. So let's go back to January. So that's December. Yes, okay. Let me check something here real quick. Well, did my screen leave? Yes, it did. Okay, there we go. Yeah, now it looks better. Anyway, so we're starting with January 1st. And it looks like I've got Spider-Man No Way Home as my first thing I seen this year. And that is true. We got to go on New Year's Day to go see this in the theater. I've been wanting to see it. And I was very, very, very pleased with it. As you can see, I gave it 5 stars and I did like it. I would probably change my mind and give it 4.5 stars now. I was super hyped about it when I came out of the theater. Immediately did a review in the parking lot. I would go 4.5. I think, let's see. So do I click on it? Yes. That is my review. Okay. Peter Parker doesn't want people to know who he is and messes everything up while Doctor Strange tries to help him. No spoilers, but this movie was a huge fan service and it worked well in the end. I can't wait to see where this leads Peter. Fantastic movie. So that was my review of it. I would say the reason I would give it 4.5 stars now, looking back, it was a fan service. And I think they went a little bit too far. And I think with the bad guys, the villains in it, there was really only a focus on 2 of them. And we could have done without maybe 2 of them. Would have made the movie a little bit better. But overall, thought it was pretty good. So moving on, that same day, that night, I watched A Bittersweet Life. Bittersweet Life is I'm going to mess it up. The Korean gentleman's name, but he also did I Saw the Devil. But this was actually referred to me by one of my very good friends. It's one of his favorite movies. And it basically is about a mob enforcer, which is this guy here. And it's the guy that plays Storm Shadow in the G.I. Joe movies. And he plays Billy in the Magnificent Seven. So what happens when you disobey your boss? They try to kill you and bury you. What happens when they botch that up? You go and try to kill them all. Great movie, great acting, great pacing, great camera work. This movie is a treat from start to finish. I gave it 4 stars. And I would still agree with that. I could even maybe bump it up to 4.5. But Bittersweet Life, if you've not seen it and you like Korean cinema and you liked I Saw the Devil, I highly recommend checking it out. It's a very good movie. It is brutal. And like all South Korean movies, if you've heard me speak of anything on them, it is exactly what you think. You know how the story's going to end. There's no happy endings. stuff like that. It's great. So moving on, a first watch. This is on the 2nd of January. We watched A Star is Born. Now, this was a first watch. Like I said, I've had this movie, I don't know how long in my collection. I've had the Steelbook forever sitting on the shelf. Finally decided to watch it. I gave it 4.5 stars. Now, I have never seen the original or the remake. And I know the remake with Chris Christopherson, I believe, is supposed to be really good. So I may need to check that out sometime. Excuse me. But basically, Bradley Cooper is an aging musician that falls in love with a singer that works at a drag show bar. And it goes from there, and it's all their ups, downs. He's an alcoholic. It's their success, their shortcomings, and what ultimately ends up happening in the end. Fantastic movie. I've always loved Bradley Cooper. I always thought he was a great actor. And Lady Gaga. I've never listened to her music. I mean, I know who she is, but she blew me away with her acting. Her singing was fantastic. Could not believe it. And I need to watch House of Gucci. I still haven't watched that yet. I know she's in there with Adam Driver. I don't know why I have not watched that yet, but I need to. But A Star is Born, 4.5 stars. I would still agree with 4.5 stars. And I know I've got looks like 4 people watching. Don't be afraid to write some comments and let me know what you think of these movies. So let's see what we got coming up next. If my computer will work. There we go. So moving on, Sailor Suit and Machine Gun. Now, I picked up the Arrow limited edition of this just because it was an Asian movie. Hey, Caveman, how's it going? I should say Caveman. I can't do it as well. But either way, Sailor Suit and Machine Gun, I picked it up because it was an Arrow title. It was an Asian movie. It was good. Basically, it's about a 12-year-old girl, I believe, or 14-year-old girl. Hey, Jared Runner, how's it going? That inherits her dad's Yakuza clan. So the dad passes away. He has a son, but the son comes to find out has also passed away. So she gets to inherit this Yakuza clan. There's like 5 members of it, and they are just disrespected by all the other families in the area. And she gets beaten up and kidnapped at one point. They try to do a hit on a couple of the guys. It's kind of a mess of a movie, but then like the last 20 to 30 minutes kind of redeeming because she picks up a machine gun and decides to show people that she is not to be messed with. And of course, Sailor Suit, that's your traditional Japanese schoolgirl outfit. I got some messages. But she wears the sailor suit and kind of cleans up the Yakuza clan and kind of becomes respectful. Overall, it was a good movie. I probably won't watch it again anytime soon, at least. Maybe a couple years down the road, I might revisit it to see if I've got a different opinion on it. But 3 stars, I would agree with that. Where are we at? So January 29th. As you see, in January, I went the 1st, the 2nd, and then all the way to the end of the month. My viewing habits of January and then coming up in March were horrible. I usually try to watch a movie on Friday night, 2 on Saturday, and 1 on Sunday if I can of every week. And I don't know what was going on. January 29th, we watched What If with Daniel Radcliffe and I forget what her name is. I wish it showed a little bit more about the information on it. But either way, I watched this solely because it had Daniel Radcliffe and Adam Driver in it. It was recommended to me by somebody. I don't quite remember who. And it was a really good romantic comedy. Basically, Radcliffe is kind of a down man. He's at a party. It's his friend Adam Driver. And he starts talking to this girl. And they just have a really good conversation. Come to find out she has a boyfriend. To and fro happens. They kind of just stay friends. A twist happens. and then the end of the movie happens. But it's a really, um, really good romantic comedy. The dialogue's really good, the comedy in it's really good, and it's just an overall feel good story. So if you want to watch a good new age romantic comedy, I highly recommend What If. I know it's from 2013, but I mean that's kind of new age. Future Boy, what genre do you gravitate towards? I prefer action. I do like a good thriller slash drama, and I really like Asian cinema. Kurosawa, Miike. Um, I I'm going to mess his name up. Kim Lee Jun, Bong Joon Ho, all them, Wong Kar Wai, stuff like that. I love the South Korean stuff right now that's coming out of there. There's a lot of good stuff. That's about it for that. Let's see. So, What If? Like I said, highly recommended. If you've not seen What If, you want a good, funny romantic comedy, and it's Daniel Radcliffe in just a non Harry Potter role. Highly recommend it. All right. January 29th, Shadow. Now, this is a Chinese, I believe. I really wish there was a. What happens if I push this? Doesn't really tell us much more, does it? Oh, it does. So yeah, it's Chinese, directed by Zhang Yimou. Basically, it's about a kingdom ruled by a young man and an unpredictable king, and the military commander has a secret weapon, a shadow, a look-like who can fool both enemies and the king himself. Now he must use this weapon to an intricate plan that will lead people to victory in the war that king does not want. So basically, it's about deceiving, and it looks beautiful. I gave it 3 stars. The story is slow to build. Action is very good. Overall, past the look of the film, it's just an okay movie. So the story is kind of meh. This in 4K looks beautiful. If you've never seen Shadow in 4K, I highly, highly recommend it just for the viewing pleasure. It's fantastic. So let's see. We ended January out with Deliver Us from Evil, another South Korean movie. So Won Chan Hong, directed by. So this movie from the get-go was awesome. But yeah, here's all the people down here cast. See, as much as I watch Asian cinema, I really need to get better at their names. But Deliver Us from Evil, basically, I give it 4.5 stars. It deserves every bit of 4.5 stars. An ex-cop, he was in a special task unit, has one final mission. He's basically told by his boss, you need to get out of town. He moves to a different country. 10 years, 20 years goes by. It moves on to the story of this woman and her daughter. The woman gets killed, the daughter gets kidnapped, and a message gets back to this cop. And come to find out, it's his daughter, possibly. And he goes looking for her. And boy, does he go looking for her. I mean, once the action kicks off, it's nonstop. And then the bad guy, the butcher, is also coming after him, and he gets wind of the daughter, and he's also making a beeline for that same goal. And the action, like I said, once it starts off, it's awesome. Excuse me. Nonstop. And the ending is great on this. But Deliver Us from Evil is easily one of my top 3, top 4 Korean movies, I would say. Deliver Us from Evil, I Saw the Devil, Bittersweet Life, Old Boy. Those 4, I would highly recommend those anytime. So let's see. That was ending January. Going into February. Speaking of, I Saw the Devil. 5 stars. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about I Saw the Devil being 5 stars. This was a rewatch. I had watched it when it originally came out in, I think, 2011. And kind of had forgotten about it. Now I gotten revived back into Korean cinema. Had to watch this again. Basically, a cop's wife, pregnant wife, um, gets kidnapped and killed. The killer is Chin Min Suk, I think is his name from Old Boy, and it's a cat and mouse all the way through it. You're on the edge of the seat. Fantastic movie. The way the protagonist toys with the antagonist, but then the antagonist gets back at the protagonist, and it's a brutal movie too. It's very, very in your face. I highly recommend I Saw the Devil if nobody's ever seen that. So, moving on. February 5th, Spencer, the new Kristen Stewart movie. 3.5 stars. I really know nothing about Princess Diana. When I was growing up, she was the princess. I remember the day she died. I love Kristen Stewart. I think she's a great actress. I know her range isn't the greatest, but a lot of this post Twilight stuff she has done has been fantastic. But this was a fever dream. Like, it's partial real, partial fact, partial fiction. And it was just a weird movie. And it was shot in a weird way. But it's beautiful. The dialogue is kind of weird, but out there, still entertaining. But it's a movie it'll be a while before I revisit it. It was good. I mean, if you want to learn something about a specific time in Princess Diana's life, I recommend watching it. So then that same day, the 5th, yep, Encounter of the Spooky Kind. So this is a Sammo Hung movie. It is I forget what the genre is called, but it's a spiritual martial arts where basically ghosts are brought into the whole thing. It's Sammo Hung. Sammo Hung is always good in everything he does. His action scenes that he choreographs are great. His comedy is great. But overall, this movie was just slow, and the only redeeming quality of it really was the fight scenes. So that's all I had to say about Encounter of the Spooky Kind. 3 stars. Moving on to the 6th, The New World. I'm going to be honest, I watched this and I've kind of forgotten everything about it. So here's my review. 3.5 stars. An undercover cop is stuck between the law he represents and the mob life he is living in, so he's an undercover cop. Okay. When the boss dies, a struggle for power consumes everyone, and in the end, someone has to come out on top. The dialogue in this movie is very well written, and every scene and interaction has purpose. My complaints are lack of action and length of movie. If I remember, this is like a 2 hour and 40-minute long movie or something like that. It was a good movie, and it's got some of the same people that's in just about every other Korean movie right now. So that was February 6th, New World, 3.5 stars. Next, Eternals. Got it when it came out on physical media. Hey, Tony. Hey, Hall & Oates. How's it going? We're just going over reviewing what I've watched for the last, 6 months on Letterboxd. But Eternals, got it when it came out. I did not want to watch it in theaters because I heard bad things. I'm a Marvel fanboy. They can pretty much put out poop fighting poop, and I'll probably buy it when it comes out on Steelbook. But Eternals, 3.5 stars. It was a good filler. It kind of tied up some things, kind of gave you direction of which way the Marvel could be going. The movie looked beautiful in 4K. I mean, the 4K was stunning. But overall, it was kind of bland. Like, there was no real huge character development. They kind of drug the point of the movie on through the whole 2.5 hours. I forget how long the movie is. It's pretty long for a Marvel movie. They just kind of drug the point through it, and it really could have been tightened up, and it could have explored the characters more versus trying to just drag the storyline through the mud. That's pretty much all I got to say about the Eternals. Let's see. And then ending out February. Of course, February only has 28 days in it. Rent-A-Pal. So, as you all know, you've heard me say it, I am not a horror guy. This was actually recommended by Alan over at Pop's Movie Dungeon. I seen him open it up in a video. It's got Will Wheaton in it, and I love Will Wheaton. I think he's a great actor, and he's done other stuff outside of acting that I've enjoyed. He's had a YouTube game show channel or gaming channel there for a while, and he's just an all around seems like a good guy. But either way, Rent-A-Pal. The base of the story is, of course, I don't remember the main guy's name. He lives with his mom. He's in his 40s, and he's trying to go through a dating service, a video dating service, which a lot of you young people probably don't even know what that is. Basically, you go in, you would record yourself on a videotape. They would make copies of it, and they would send them out to other members of the same video community, and you would get matched up based on your VHS tape. So he's not getting matches. He gets a match, goes on this date with this girl. It's going pretty good. He's kind of surprised. And he finds this videotape one time when he's going in to pay his due called Rent-A-Pal. And it's got Will Wheaton on there. And basically he starts watching it, and Will Wheaton starts talking to him through the TV. And it takes some twists and turns, and some cool stuff happens. And if you want a good psychological thriller, I would highly recommend this. I think it's a cool little horror movie. I did give it 3.5 stars. It did keep me interested all the way through. It had a nice dark twist at the end, but it's horror. I just don't really get into it a whole lot. But if you're a horror person, you've not seen Rent-A-Pal, highly recommend it. All right, March, I watched 2 movies. March, I slacked off hard. Thankful I've never had to do the video dating. I would have been single forever. Fortunately, when I got to that age, the internet was being born, so I didn't have to go do that. But yeah, video dating services, man. That's a trip. That's a different era right there. So moving on to March. First thing I watched, Copland. I had heard so many things about this, and I'd never watched it. Sylvester Stallone, Robert De Niro, Ray Liotta, Ray Liotta. I don't know how I had never watched this movie. Who else is it? Ray Liotta, Harvey Keitel. That's who I was thinking of. It's got a whole bunch of other people in there too. But basically, Sylvester Stallone is a cop in the town where all the cops live, right outside. I think it's New York or New Jersey. And this really feels like a Scorsese mafia mob movie, but it's not done by Scorsese. And I highly recommend this movie. Like, the pacing in it's great, the dialogue in it's great, the action, the story is great. Sylvester Stallone is completely out of his element as far as his acting. I shouldn't say he's out of his element. It's a different element of acting from him. So it's just really nice to see it. And it's overall a great movie. I think it's a fairly long movie, maybe a little like right above 2 hours, but it flew by quick because it was that entertaining. Copland, 4.5 stars. I would not change that at all. All right. And then the 12th, again, my 2 movies a night. So that's what I do. 1 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday, if I can. Tonight, I want to watch 2 movies because I don't have to work tomorrow. Excuse me. So the other movie I watched in March, let's see where we're at. Hey, Chandler, how's it going? Yeah, Tony, I think me and you watched Copland right around the same time. And I don't know how I've skipped over it. Like, it was such a great movie. But Mads Mikkelsen, Riders of Justice. Now, this movie came out in 2020, right in the height of COVID, and it got an American release late in 2020, I believe. Straight to video, maybe. It is in Dutch, whatever language Mads is. I forget what his, Swedish, maybe. But this movie is fantastic. Mads is on top of his game. He's an ex-military guy. Some things happen. These 3 guys come to talk to him. and things get crossed real quick. And Mads is a total badass in this movie. If you've not seen Riders of Justice, I highly recommend it. There is some really good action in there. Dialogue is kind of funny and quirky all the way through. The three gentlemen are kind of high end tech nerds. So, like, them dealing with this just total badass killer is fantastic. But Riders of Justice, highly recommend it. 4 stars. I would probably even bump this up to 4.5. It's that good. So, moving into April. A Hard Day. So this I bought off the Kino sale. I'd seen somebody had posted it on their Instagram, and it is a Korean movie, I believe. Let me look here. Yeah, Kim Sung-hung. Yeah, so it is a Korean movie. So a cop trying to bury his mother while beating an internal affairs investigation accidentally hits a man and kills him with his car, so he thinks. He burns the body or buries the body, and his day goes from bad to even worse. Quite a few little twists and turns in this one. I really liked it. Definitely not see the last 30 or so minutes of it coming the way it did. So Green, again, Korean movie, fantastic thriller. Another cat and mouse movie. Very, very good. Why did I click off of it? I don't know why I clicked off of it. But very cat and mouse game. Fantastic. A Blu-ray King. The twist in it are great. The dialogue between the antagonist and protagonist, fantastic. Highly recommend A Hard Day if you've not seen it. Like I said, I think it is a Kino title. It may be on sale right now. So you can probably pick it up cheap. If you like Korean movies and you've not seen it, highly recommend it. What are we at next? King of Beggars, Stephen Chow. I like Stephen Chow. If you don't know who he is, Kung Fu Hustle, Shaolin Soccer, God of Gamblers 1, 2, and 3. He's done extensive work. He's a comedic martial artist. And this movie is fantastic. It's he's on top of his style in this movie. It's not as engaging as Kung Fu Hustle, but it is very, very entertaining. And his fight scenes in this are choreographed really well, and he moves through several different styles of martial arts. And it's along with Jackie Chan and Sammo Hung, his fluidity of changing martial art styles and how easily he adapts to the fighting scenes and the choreography is fantastic. I highly recommend any Stephen Chow movie. But King of Beggars, 1992, 4 stars. I don't think there will ever be a Stephen Chow movie that I'll watch that will get below 4 stars. Kind of biased. He's one of the all-time greatest, I think. All right. April 15th. I started to get into the Vengeance trilogy. I had not watched the full Vengeance trilogy in forever. I started with Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, which is by far the weakest. Hey, 4K D-Ray, what's up, man? Just doing some Letterboxd reviews, everything I watched this year. I haven't watched a whole lot. I watched 35 movies, but I could have watched more. But Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. The Vengeance trilogy is basically people that get wronged in really weird ways, and they come back and get vengeance. Basically, this is a deaf mute must figure out how to get a kidney for his dying sister. After kidnapping takes place, things go from 2 to 11 real quick. The sister kills herself, and the kidnapped child accidentally drowns, and this sends the father and the kidnapper onto an intersecting path of vengeance. Easily the worst of the Vengeance trilogy, but the worst is still great. I did give it 3.5 stars. It may have been 4. I need to rewatch it again. I remember the first time I ever watched it, I don't think I really cared for it as much. On this rewatch, I cared for it a little bit better. But by far, it's Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, Lady Vengeance, and then Old Boy in ranking there. I need to go back and watch Old Boy and Mrs. Vengeance. All right, 17th of April, The Villainous. I've had this Arrow copy. I bought it when it first came out forever. Basically, it's about a female trained assassin that goes after a man that kills her father. It starts off hardcore Henry like it's a first person, like the first um oh man, 15 minutes of it's like a first person view hardcore Henry only with martial arts like katanas and guns, and it's insane. Like it's shot really really well. But then after that it just kind of bogs down. The story just kind of just slows down. And then uh yeah, what I say, combination of Kill Bill, Hardcore Henry, and John Wick rolled up in one thing with a dash of storyline confusion thrown on top. So the storyline, like they do a bunch of flashbacks and back and forth, and it kind of just it ruins the movie a little bit. And there is a scene in it, in John Wick, whichever one where he's riding the horse and he's fighting the three dudes on the bikes, is actually inspired from this movie. There's a scene where she is on a bike fighting other guys on a bike, and it's actually really, really cool. But overall, 3.5 stars, The Villainous. If you got the ability to stream it somewhere, I'd watch it. It may actually be on, it looks like Amazon USA, Vudu, Google Play. So it looks like it can be rented or watched. All right, next, the 22nd. Let me check my chat here real quick. Yeah, I love Stephen Chow, especially the 90s stuff. Yeah, Stephen Chow is just always, he's just a great martial artist, and he's not really gotten the love I think he deserves in America. Kung Fu Hustle was his really big thing, and then you really don't see much. Of course, he worked a lot with Andy Lau, and Andy Lau's done a bunch of extraordinary stuff too. I know, Jared, you like the Asian stuff, which Asian stuff is good. So, April 22nd, Ocean's Heaven. So I did my The Five with Plat X2 earlier this year. Or it was late last year, I don't remember. And he actually asked me if I'd watch this because it stars Jet Li. Now, Jet Li is probably my second or third favorite martial artist. I'd probably say second. Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Sammo Hung, and then like Donnie Yen, Stephen Chow, and a whole plethora of other people. But Ocean's Heaven. It is a dramatic piece from Jet Li. There's no martial arts in it whatsoever. And I had never heard of it. So I immediately went out and bought it as soon as I got offline with John. I went and looked it up, watched the trailer, said, yes, I'm buying this. So I bought it. So Jet Li is an aging father that has a 20-ish-year-old autistic son. He comes to find out he's going to die. He has an incurable cancer, so he does everything in his will for his last remaining months to make sure his son can learn as much as possible as an autistic child and that somebody can care for him. And of course, in China, kids are pretty much left out in the cold, especially if they are mentally disabled or anything like that. There's no basically hope for them. So I related to this movie heavily. I have a 9-year-old son, he'll be 10 this year, that is autistic. He is high functioning autism with ADHD. Super good kid. He does have some social inepts and stuff like that, but overall, he's not nearly as bad as this kid was in here. And the kid that portrayed the son is not autistic, and he blew it away. I mean, I've seen a bunch of very, very bad non-autistic people try to do autistic things, and they just overblow it. And I couldn't believe it. But at the end of this movie, I was crying. I mean, I related to it very hard. It really makes you think about life and mortality, your children, you know, what are you going to pass on to them? But Ocean's Heaven, if you have not seen it, I would highly recommend it, especially if you have kids or if you have kids with disabilities. It really hits home. 4.5 stars. I should have gave it 5. I don't know why I gave it 4.5. It should be 5 stars. But Ocean's Heaven, Jet Li, fantastic movie. Highly recommend it. Let's see. And then, oh yeah, I only watched one thing in May too. Man. So finishing out April, Skinny Tiger, Fatty Dragon. I got the special edition from, I think it was 88 Films. Gave this 4 stars. It's a Sammo Hung's tribute to Bruce Lee. It's pretty good. Two cops are trying to bring down a crime boss, and hijinks take place. Pretty solid storyline and dialogue through the entire runtime. Let's be real though, I'm watching this for the action, and it delivers. Sammo brings the pain with his Bruce Lee inspired fight style in this one, and his partner Skinny Tiger holds his own well. Pleasantly surprised how much I enjoyed this one. Now, it was made in 1990, but I'm going to tell you right now, it has some 80s cheese in it. But the fight scenes are fantastic. Sammo Hung at one point is wearing a tracksuit, and he completely embodies Bruce Lee, and his fight style is great. Let's see. My mom once did home health care when I was young. I was so afraid of all the kids she brought home until I gained understanding of their conditions were. Yeah, as a kid, that can be really scary because if you meet another kid that's not acting like you or just is acting strange, that would scare you and you don't know what's going on. But let's see. K-Man, have you seen Temple Grandin on HBO? You need to watch it before you buy. No, I have not, but I will write that down and check it out. I always like recommendations. Man, I don't know. Freaking, I cut grass the other day and my allergies have been acting up ever since. Great. All right. But Skinny Tiger, Fatty Dragon, Sammo Hung. If you guys don't know who Sammo Hung is, he was a longtime collaborator with Jackie Chan. He is a producer, director, writer, and he is an overweight martial artist, but he is one of the most nimblest, coolest martial artists I've ever seen. So Sammo Hung, anything you can watch and not go wrong with it. All right. So in May, I only watched one thing. May, I think, is when I got COVID and I was just down. And I think I felt like crap all the way through May. Was it May? I don't even remember. But either way, so the only thing I got to watch in May was The Batman, which I waited for it to come out on physical media. Bought Steelbook day one. I'm sorry, 4K, that yours got canceled. I'm probably the one that picked up yours that got canceled. But 4.5 stars. I was very, very hopeful for Pattinson to be a good Batman, and he was. Now, his Bruce Wayne was a little lacking. I really liked Catwoman, Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman. I thought she was great. I loved Colin Farrell's Penguin. I thought that was fantastic. I thought Paul Dano was maniacal and crazy. My only two complaints to this movie are the length, the runtime, and the third act kind of falls apart. I was really hoping they would use Catwoman so much better than they did, but they didn't. I think it could have been so much more, but hopefully they do continue on. I'm sure he'll get a part two because this just, I think, blew the box office up. I think the physical media sales been really good on it and all that. So I can't wait to see what they do with part two. Like I said, Pattinson killed it as Batman. I just wish they would work on the detective Bruce Wayne part a little bit more, or detective Batman part a little bit more. Be a little bit less brooding. And what's his name? Played the bad guy in Marvel that plays his butler. He was okay. It took me a minute to get used to thinking that he's actually Alfred. So that was my one movie in May. Start off June strong. June, I got actually quite a few in here. Start off June with Galaxy Quest. Now, Galaxy Quest I've owned for a while. I picked the Steelbook up after watching Huck on Huck's Pop Culture Cafe. He had recommended it. I'd never seen this. I knew it was based on Star Trek. I'm not a Star Trek fan, but I heard it was really funny. So we did the space stream on Tim Talk Talkie's channel, and of course Huck brought this up again, and Tim gave it high regard. So I said, okay, as soon as it comes up, I'm going to watch it. So I watched it. I gave it 4 stars. It's very funny. It's very good. And I think if I was more of a Star Trek fan, I would have gave it higher. But Tim Allen's great in it. Sigourney Weaver. Let me see who else is in there. Alan Rickman, uh, Sam Rockwell. Sam Rockwell was hilarious in it. And then Justin Long playing like this severe OCD, like know it all fan was great. I love Justin Long. I think he's funny. But Galaxy Quest, 4 stars. I enjoyed it. I'll probably go back and watch it at some point. And then on the 5th, I went and seen my second movie of the year. I don't go to the movie theater that much, but I had to go see this. I've been wanting to see this ever since they announced it. Yes, Huck. Yeah, like I said, Huck. If I'd been a Star Trek fan all my life, I think I would have enjoyed it even more. But I really like how it did it, and I thought it was hilarious. But we're talking about everything, everywhere, all at once. I even did a video inspired by it, showing off all my A24 movies. I could not wait for this. Michelle Yeoh. I love Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is probably one of my favorite martial arts movies. Ki Hui Kwan, or Data, or Short Round, whatever you want to call him, came out of retirement to do this movie. Their daughter, Stephanie Sue, awesome. Jamie Lee Curtis was in it. James Hong, or he was the Lopan in Big Trouble in Little China. Fantastic. Either way, multiverse movie. Basically, she can tap into all of her other selves throughout the multiverse, doing weird things to get them. This movie is nonstop fucking weirdness all the way through. The Daniels were fantastic directing and writing this. I loved Swiss Army Man. If you've never seen Swiss Army Man with Paul Dano and Daniel Radcliffe, super weird. This tops the weirdness by like 200%. But this, as of right now, and I don't think it will be defeated by the end of the year, is my favorite movie, period, of 2022. And if you've not seen it, it comes out on physical media actually Tuesday. I highly recommend picking this up and watch it, and then rewatch it and watch it again, because there's so much going on and there's so much to catch, but it's not confusing. You can stick with the storyline. The action is great. The family aspect of this movie is fantastic. If you have not seen it, highly, highly recommend it. So, yeah, can't forget Guy. My name's Guy, and I like the color red. Thought that was hilarious. The 10th, I watched Come On, Come On. I finally picked it up. I love Joaquin Phoenix. I gave this 4 stars. He's basically a broadcast journalist, decides to take his nephew back to New York City for a week to help out his sister while she's caring for her husband that's in the hospital. It's a very dialogue-driven movie. It is very poignant on his views through many different eyes. The movie was also shown in black and white, which I think really helped to bring the story across by not blurring colors at you. Really, really good movie on just simple life, about helping out family, caring for somebody, life decisions, jobs, marital decisions, and all that. Come On, Come On. No, I think it won some awards maybe last year. I'm not totally for sure. Yeah, because it came out in 2021. I know it was kind of late 2021, and I think it got a little bit of life, but it's an A24 movie too. Like, I would watch it, period, if I was you, anybody. 4 stars, period. I'll stop saying period now. Hey, Ken, Mid-Level Media. Just doing some reviews. Figure I'd kill some time on a Sunday since I ain't got to work tomorrow. And you're just in time, because we're going to review Drive. So, like me and just about everybody else that bought the Second Sight Special Edition 4K of Drive, I think everybody was thoroughly impressed with the packaging, all the extras, and the 4K transfer and the Atmos and all that stuff. I've always liked Drive. I always thought it was a great movie. I know there are some people that just hate the movie. I know it was misrepresented when it came out in the theaters. You thought you were going to get this big, fancy action driving movie, and you did not. But the 4K on this, oh my God, it looks beautiful. It's just a fantastic story. Nick Refn Winding did fantastic on it. That is his name, Nick Winding Refn. Yeah. Anyway, Drive 4K. I had to watch it. Like I didn't plan on watching it that night because I'd already watched Come On, Come On. It was already late, but I just received it in the mail that day. So I threw it in to check the 4K, and I ended up watching the whole movie. 4.5 stars. Love the movie. Drive is probably one of my easily top 5, top 10 favorite movies. Yeah, Tony, I would highly recommend it. Come On, Come On is good. Make sure you're just kind of relaxed in a good mood. You know, if you're tired or anything, I wouldn't watch it. It's a very dialogue-driven movie. Hey, Dilated Entertainment. Yeah, I know 4K loves Drive. Yes. All right. Let's see where we're going at. Drive. Okay. So June 11th, Minding the Gap. So this was a pickup from November's, or did I pick this up at the flash sale? I picked up at one of the Criterion sales. But this is a documentary about some youth skateboarders that are transversing the up and downs of life in the Midwest when social decay is basically taking over their town. And it transitions, and actually the top guy here, Ben Liu, is the writer, director, filmographer of the movie, and he's also in the movie. It transitions from a documentary about these skateboarding guys into a little bit more darker, hardcore about their actual personal lives in that, and it kind of reveals some stuff, and basically about the guy here in the middle. And then it also shows the success of the last guy here. This guy actually gets out of the town. He makes it out to California, I believe. He got a skate contract and all that, and he's doing really good. But Minding the Gap. If you like documentaries, this by far is probably one of the best documentaries I've watched ever. Two more, or one more, I would say that you guys need to watch if you like sushi and Asian stuff. Jiro Dreams of Sushi. It's great. Either way. The filming technique that Lou uses too in here is fantastic. He uses a lot of handheld, but then he uses dynamic camera with the skateboarding and all that, and it's done really well. And they end the video with, or the movie, with a Mountain Goat song. And if you don't know who the Mountain Goats are, you should check them out. They're a great band, very odd band. But Minding the Gap, 4.5 stars. It is Criterion month. So if you've been thinking about picking this up, I would highly recommend getting it while it's on sale. Very good documentary. And then next, yes, same night. Let's see. If it's on streaming side, I'll be giving it another try. I think Drive is one of those that need to grow on you. Yes, Car Chasing Ronin. If people have never seen Ronin, that's a very good movie. But moving on, movie hoarders from VHS to DVD and beyond. I bought this when it first came out to support everybody in the YouTube world and physical media world. I finally got around to watching it. It was a cool concept. It was nice to see the people I watched on YouTube and interacted before on video. And honestly, though, like I say here in my review, it's just 2 hours of the same couple of talking points repeated over and over. They had so many people in it, and they were all asked the same question. And we all know why we're doing this for, why we like physical media and stuff like that. We want the medium to stay alive. We want to show the companies that we are out here and stuff like that. But it was the same. There wasn't a whole lot of diversity in the questions and the answers. And the movie's like 2 hours and 15 minutes long, I think. And it's the same talking points over and over. So if it would have been cut down about an hour and a half and maybe half the people were in it, like if they would have just kept like the super famous people in there maybe, or whatever, I don't know. But overall, I own it. I support the cause. If that offends anybody, I'm sorry. I apologize. I love Drive, but I think I might downgrade it to only liking Drive after seeing how much other people love Drive. Yes. Man, Drive's just one of those movies, man. And in 5-10 years, people are going, oh, man, I hate Drive. It's not any good. It's crap. And then 10 years again, it'll be the same thing. All right, June 17th, Morbius, the dreaded Morbius. Hey, I don't know what this is. Get off my screen. Hold on, folks. I don't know what is going on. There we go. I think I did that. Am I still sharing that? Yes, I'm still up. Okay. That was weird. So, Morbius. I'm not going to pan it, but it wasn't the greatest movie either. 3.5 stars. It's Morbin time. What more can I say? It was a middle of the road comic book movie. The end. Leto was over the top. The 4K did look really good. The CGI was horrible, but it's a Sony movie. What do you expect? I know they're trying to tie in the Sinister Six and all that. It's whatever. Sony just needs to suck it up, sell themselves over to Marvel, and be done with it. That's all I got to say about Morbius. All right, the 19th, the Neon Demon. Another Nick Winding Refn movie that did Drive. I'm going to tell you right now, this movie was beautiful, on par with Drive. The cinematography, fantastic. The score, fantastic. The costumes and all that, great. But here's my review. 4 stars, Neon Demon. What the hell did I just watch? Refn scores another beautiful looking movie that's never on the rails from the get-go. A new model shows up in town and seasoned pros don't like it, so they decide she must go. Just like Drive and Only God Forgives, this movie is a spectacle to look at and makes up for the minimalist story and dialogue. So if you don't watch the Neon Demon, this movie is a trip. Like I said, it's beautiful to look at. It's got Elle Fanning. Elle Fanning's really the only. Well, Keanu Reeves is in it, but he's like a minor character. And then Christina Hendricks is in it, but Elle Fanning kills it. And the two girls, the pro models, are fantastic in it too. But another Refn movie that just looks beautiful. Highly recommend it. Yeah. Let's see. Neon Demon made me want to blind buy movies even more. Yeah, it's got a weird plot. Like I would say it's beautiful like Drive, but the story is more like Only God Forgives. If you've ever seen it, it's just a weird movie. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't keep my eyes off of it. It was a great, great looking movie. So June 23rd, let's end it out with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So this came on Disney Plus. I watched it before I got the physical copy. I don't even know when the physical copy comes out. I think it's soon. Neon Demon can be streamed on Prime. Yeah, I own it. I try to stream as little as possible. I'd rather support physical media, but now I'm sitting here saying that I stream Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which is fine. So Marvel movies, I score them a little bit differently. I think anybody's book, this was probably a 3.5 to 4 movie. To me, it was a 4.5. But I kind of separate my comic book movies from everything else. This is probably going to be easily my top 5 favorite Marvel movies. It bumped Spider-Man, the last whatever, No Way Home, Last Way Home, No Way Out, whatever the hell it was, topped it. But I liked the direction that Rami took it. Sam Raimi. Jesus, why did I say Rami? I was thinking Rami Malek. Sam Raimi took it. I like the dark aspect of it. I like how they connected Wanda back to the series, the darkness of it, how they brought in the Illuminati, the effects in it was great. The darkness in it was great. It gave me high hopes for what's coming up for the rest of the MCU going forward. I know they're about to announce or should be announcing soon the next like big story arc. So I can't wait to see. But the only complaint I had about this movie was not the character American Chavez, but the actress that played American Chavez. She was almost like a Captain Marvel. I mean, she was just bland. I liked her powers and all that. I know she's going to probably play in somewhere, but the actual actress needs to step it up about, I don't know, 6 notches. That's my take on Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I knew it was going to be good. I know a lot of people hated on it. Let's see. Been on highest buying movies. Did I miss Doctor Strange still? I don't know if the Doctor Strange still is up for pre-order or not. I think it might be. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying, Cayman. I gotcha. Yeah. I I forgot other people might want to watch the movie too. Okay. So starting off July, of course, this is July 3rd. It is Criterion Month, or a summer, or Criterion Summer, as Ken would put it. So don't forget that hashtag. Hashtag a Criterion Summer to link with Ken. So it is Criterion Month, 50% off sale at Barnes and Nobles. Of course, Amazon is also price matching majority of stuff. So I'm going through and watching stuff strictly from Criterion. I've got to catch up on all those things that's been sitting on the shelf. And the first thing, Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. The last Wes Anderson film that I needed to watch of his. I have them all minus Isle of Dogs, because Isle of Dogs has not been put out, and French Dispatch on Criterion yet. For me, it just didn't hit the same as most Wes Anderson movies. Typical layout, slow and not engaging at all, unlike his other movies. But Kate Blanchett and William Dafoe were the best things in this one. Like, I love their characters, but overall, the story just kind of lagged, and it kind of felt choppy. So I didn't really care for it. And I mean, I hate to say that about Wes Anderson, because I really love him and I love his movies. But 3.5 stars, Life Aquatic, Steve Zissou. And then last night, a movie I just picked up yesterday from the sale. I picked up 3 movies. I picked up Kira Kurosawa's High Low, Gate of Hell, and then Throwdown, which is Johnny Toe, a movie by Johnny Toe. This was actually recommended by James over at 20 and 21st Movies. He had bought it earlier this year, I believe, and watched it, and he really liked it. So I bought it. Of course, it's Asian cinema. I had to buy it. 4 stars. A chaotic and wonderful film about a guy that literally wants to throw down with every dude he meets. I'm not joking about that either. He studied judo, and literally every guy he runs into, he wants to throw down with, and it's hilarious. It really adds to the movie. The story goes back and forth between the 3 main characters. There's him, there's a lady singer, and then there's a drunken bar owner that's owes a bunch of people different money. And basically, they're trying to get their crap together, and they're trying to help the drunk get his stuff together and get out of a situation. And it is a very well done noir thriller. The atmosphere and cinematography was great, and the story was very, very easy to follow, but very unpredictable in a good way. So the story is all over the place, but it serves a purpose, and it keeps you on your toes the whole time. But the thing I took out of it, like I said, was hilarious. Was the main character was like, "Hey, how tall are you? How much do you weigh? You want to fight?" And like, he bets people money that he can get them down on the ground. But basically, what it boils down to, the drunk guy he was looking for, and the drunk guy used to be a martial artist as well, and he wanted to fight him. And it's a very good movie. That's all I'm going to say. The dude just wants to throw down with everybody. So it's a very apt title. See, Kino sale until 7/18. Yeah, so was the Arrow sale at Barnes and Nobles. 10 watching, 4 likes. Smack that Amber. Like, yeah. This is the first live stream I've done since the favorite horror movies I did with Jagoda, Pops, and Side Hustle Cinema. I'm going to probably start doing this more, get into it. But then last night, I finally, and I'm ashamed to say this, watched The Princess Bride. I've been kind of avoiding it for a long time. I just didn't feel like it was my type of movie. And I enjoyed it. And I completely understand why people love this movie. And they think it's like the best movie ever. I just really couldn't get into it. And I think it's just because I've heard my name's, whatever his name, until you've killed my father, prepare to die. And then, inconceivable. Just, I think I've heard those for so long over the years that it just kind of took me out of the movie. But my favorite part of this movie was Andre the Giant. Growing up in the 80s, he was like one of those big name wrestlers that you just had to watch every time he was on TV. And it was really nice to see him in character playing this. Anybody want a peanut? But anyway, Princess Bride, 4 stars. I understand why people like it. I really do. So that's going to end it right there on my reviews for the year. Tonight, I don't know what I'm watching. I'm thinking about starting maybe Lone Wolf and Cub series. I'm not totally for sure. There's like 6 movies in that. Or I may watch Dragon Inn and Return to Dragon Inn. I'm not sure, but they'll be on there. So let me stop sharing that. Get out of there. Let's get back to here. All right. Throwdown is streaming on Haya on Prime. Okay. Is there a specific Asian cinema section on Prime? I guess there probably is. So that was my reviews for everything I've watched so far this year. I really appreciate you guys coming. Anybody got any questions or anything? I'm going to start. I was looking yesterday when I was at Mega Replay. I'm going to start looking for posters. I love my It's Always Sunny room. I really do. There's a reason I call it because I can open up the blinds. Sun's always coming in here, but I really love It's Always Sunny. But I'm thinking about taking all this stuff down and actually turning this into a movie poster room. Thank you, Huck. I appreciate it. I really want to get some of my favorite movie posters in here. Really kind of spruce it up. I seen a really cool Japanese Star Wars one yesterday. I thought about picking up, but I got a Crow, Scott Pilgrim, some other stuff. But I appreciate it. Actually, I'm going to end it here. It's 8 o'clock my time, and my kids are about to go to bed. I'm sure my girlfriend would appreciate if I helped get our 2 kids to sleep. But are you getting in Criterion Center? So I bought 3 yesterday, and then I bought 3 yesterday. I bought Throwdown, Akira Kurosawa's High Low, and then I bought Gate of Hell. It's another Japanese movie, and it was only $15. It was a Blu-ray. It's been out forever. It was marked 30. Got it for 15. But then last night, I made a little purchase on Barnes and Nobles. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I bought 9 movies last night. They should be hopefully shipping Tuesday because one of them's a pre-order. So I plan on buying those, and I plan on picking up Drive My Car when it comes out and Sound of Metal later this year, or later this month, I should say. And then I'm probably going to hit the store one time also and do a video while I'm in there because there's about 5 or 6 left on my list that I need to pick up that I've been wanting to pick up, like Kronos, Devil's Backbone, 2 Guillermo del Toro movies I've never seen. They've been on my list for like the last 2 years. And I just keep pushing them back. And I finally got my list whittled down to like 5 that I really want. So I'll probably pick them up. And I'm looking up to upgrade some stuff like Inside Llewellyn Davis. I've got the basic Blu-ray. I'd like to upgrade to the Criterion. Squid and the Whale, another Noah Baumbach movie. I would love to upgrade from just standard Blu-ray to the Criterion. There's some other stuff I want to pick up. I know I do a lot of Asian cinema, but I'm wanting to get more into other areas. Like I picked up the Three Colors trilogy on that Amazon order, which I'll do an unboxing when it comes in. But I expanded to that, and I want to start reaching out to other parts of the world and looking at cinema. I know James just did that stream the other night. Took some fantastic recommendations off of that. That's actually why I bought the Three Colors trilogy last night. So I'm gonna be spending some money this month. I deliberately kind of cut back last month on my spending so I could purchase a lot of stuff this month, but we'll see. But again, I appreciate y'all coming. Went for about an hour and 5 minutes now. 10, 11 people in here. Good comments. I appreciate y'all showing up. I really do. Tomorrow is 4th of July, so happy 4th of July to everybody. Stay safe out there. And again, Till I see y'all again, this is Ryan for Movies with Ryan. Have a fantastic night.